Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to learn about different type of views within Databricks. We have three types of views: persistent view, global temporary view, and the temporary view. The persistent view is a view that stores the text of the query typically against one or more data sources or table in the meta store. In Databricks, a view is equivalent to the Spark data frame persisted as an object in the database. So the point here to be noted is that the persistent view is stored within the database, which means even if we start the cluster or we close the notebook, the persistent view will always be there. This is the view that we created in the previous lecture. So if I go into the data and expand the database, so we created this view. So this will be persisted forever till the time we don't go and say we don't delete this view. Next is the global temporary view. Global temporary views are scoped to the cluster level. They can be shared across notebooks or jobs that share computing resources, which means that share the same cluster. We can share the global temporary view. This view will be deleted as soon as the cluster is restarted. We can manually restart the cluster, or let's say cluster is restarted for any other reason, for example installing a PySpark library into the cluster. It is important to remember that these are not the permanent or the persistent views. These will be scoped at the cluster level, but these views can be shared across jobs or the notebooks that share the same cluster. The next is the temporary views. Temporary views are scoped to the notebook or the script level. They cannot be referenced outside of the notebook in which they are declared, and will no longer exist when the notebook detaches from the cluster. A temporary view has a limited scope of persistence and is not registered to a schema or catalog. Key points to note here is temporary view cannot be shared within two notebooks or jobs. As soon as we close the notebook, the temporary view will go away. Let us start by creating a table, and we will then create a view over that table. Here is the table definition. We are creating a table with the name of table 0001 on top of this database. This is the schema. We are inserting two records into this table, and we are verifying that using select star from table name dot database. I will execute this. And yes, the table has been created successfully. Next, I will create a persistent view. Again, a view is the text for the query typically against one or more data sources or the table. This persistent view is persisted in the database. I will say create or replace view, the view name. Because I am not specifying any database here, this view will be created in the default database. The definition of the view is select star from this table where column equals to mouse. I will execute this statement and will do a select star from this view. The view has been created successfully. Next is the temporary view. To create the temporary view, I use the temp or the temporary keyword. The command is similar except this temp keyword. Create or replace temp view, the view name, and the query of the view. I can even write temporary here. Both give the same effect. I will execute this. The view has been created. I can do a select star from this view now. And yes, the view has been created successfully. So this was the temporary view, which means as soon as I will close this window, or if I try to access this view in a separate window, this query should fail. So let us create another window I will start another session, another notebook. We'll run the same query and this should fail. And yes, this view is not found because that was the temporary view. It only existed within that notebook. So I will go to the notebook again. We'll execute this again. And yes, it still exists within this notebook. Next is the show tables command. Show tables command not only displays all the tables that exist within a database, but also displays the views in it. So if I say show tables, we can see that I am able to see the view that we created. This is the persisted view that was created into the default database. I am also able to see the temporary view that we created. Next, we will create a global temporary view. The definition is same, except that here we will use global temp, or we can also use global temporary. Create or replace global temporary view name. This will be created in the default database because we have not specified any database name. And the view query, I will execute it. It has executed successfully. Now I will verify the view, and yes, I can query it, but we are should be able to view the content of this view in a separate notebook, but within the same cluster. So I will copy this. I will go to the another notebook that is executing on the same cluster. So here it is Sachin Goel's cluster. I will go to the another notebook which is also running on the same cluster. I will execute this command, and yes, I can get the output of the global temporary view if we are running the notebook on the same cluster. Next is the show tables command to view the global temporary views. Because the global temporary views are not created within the default database or in a database, so we need to specify show tables in global temp. So global temp is the global database which holds the global views. So global temp database, and this is the view name that we created, and this is temporary. Apart from this record, we also can see the another temporary view that was created. Thank you.